What's up, NPCs? How are we doing? What's the vibe
Hi,
today?
everybody.
We're
How's it
back.
going?
Scott's alive.
Barely. Barely. Despite what reports of my demise have been greatly exaggerated.
About 4 minutes before we went live, he had a minute-long coughing fit, and I thought we were gonna have to cancel the stream.
That's true, I did.
But
I will cough at some point on this stream.
here
and
we
I
are.
apologize for it, but there we go.
And he's wearing a V-neck shirt. Yeah, Scott, you're changing it up. You're not wearing your white shirt today.
It's because I get so fucking hot. I was outside in the heat all day yesterday. I want to be cold. I want to take an ice bath. I took my little sister to a theme park, and the heat index was over 100 degrees all day while we were out there for like 12 hours.
Did you?
So I'm gonna
Did you have a good
politely
time?
enjoy my cold. Yeah, I had So apparently this theme park uses vouchers for the carnival games, instead of just money. Like they used to just use like, oh yeah, you can play this game. It's $1, and you give them $1, and you played the game. Now it's like you have to hand them a little voucher. Well, we were about to leave the park, and we had some of those vouchers left, and we just wanted to spend them to get rid of them. There's no they're no good to us if we don't spend them. So I just went to the first game that I found, which was one of those like you throw the ball and it knocks down the bottle games.
Mm.
And oh yeah, I'm pretty sunburned. But it was like one of those, and so I played, and I went up there to try and play it, and the guy goes, "Now, boy, this is a hard game to play. This is a hard game to win." And I looked at him, and I got real close, and I said, "Sir, I don't want to win. I don't want to carry these fucking prizes all over the place. I just want to get rid of these vouchers." And so I took them, and then I threw the thing, and it was. I mean, I guess it's kind of annoying, like if I cared about winning, because it was like it was 3 bottles, and if you knock down all the bottles, you didn't win unless they fell off of the platform. So you had to knock down all 3 bottles off of the platform.
Damn.
So I knocked down all 3, but
As a former carny, you should have known all the tricks, though, I feel like.
I should have. But also, like I said, I didn't want to. She had already won prizes and stuff, and I didn't want to. She didn't need any more stuffed animals. I'll say that much.
Hoopaju, thank you for the sub and the 100 bits.
Thank you for the sub and the 100 bits.
I have not been to I think the last time I went to an amusement park was actually deadass with Shroom. I think it was when him and I went to Six Flags when we were like 11, maybe. I don't think I've been to an amusement park since then.
I went to Six Flags only one time. I was very young, so I don't remember anything about it. Except for I remember that I got like an ice cream cone as we were leaving, and we're walking to the parking lot with this ice cream cone, and I dropped it, and I cried and cried and cried, and it ruined the whole trip for me.
Wow. You were a bitch, dude.
Yeah.
Now, I haven't been...
You know.
How come they're called amusement parks when they're just about being swung at crazy speeds and eating sugar? Because that's amusing. It's amusement. It's fun.
So I did get to ride what is technically the world's fastest wooden roller coaster. According to the infographic that they show at the beginning of the ride. That was pretty cool. Got up to like 70 something miles an hour.
Never ridden a roller coaster.
Yeah, you
Still-
fucking scared?
Still
pussy?
to this day. I was when I was younger. But I'm not... I think I would do it now. When I was a kid, I was really, really afraid of heights. But now that I'm an adult, I'd probably do it.
Now that you're not a baby.
Yeah, basically. The only thing that I like, the only amusement park involving heights, or the only amusement park ride involving heights I ever did was, you know, the one where it's like all the swings are hanging and you like buckle yourself. Yeah, I've done that. And I did the one where it like takes you up and then drops you down really fast. Because those are never too high. So when I was a kid, I was like my sister could convince me to do those with her. But then she'd be like, "Want to go on this like super high roller coaster?" And I'd be like, "No, I'm good."
I have some trauma involving the one that goes up and then drops down, because when I was a kid, one of the really popular news stories that got parroted around a lot was this girl who got her feet cut off on that
Jesus.
ride at like some, I don't even think it was a local park. I think it was a big name park. I'm sure at least somebody in the chat remembers that. But yeah, I remember that vividly, and I was always scared to ride it because of that.
Yeah, I
Also, when I was in, we had a local festival in our town every year, and one of the years there was this ride called the Zipper, which had, I can draw it. It was like this big dick-shaped looking thing, and then it had these little pods that were on it, and they would spin around, and the whole thing would go like this. And one of the pods fell off and crashed and exploded. But nobody was in the pod that fell off. But it definitely would have killed whoever was in there if they were. That was the last time I ever rode a ride that wasn't at like a mainstream amusement park that you can trust.
Yeah, we had a fair we had like a fair type thing that would come around every year. And it was sometimes really cool and sometimes really horrible. I don't know what the state of it is now. Also, yo, Frog, what's up?
Hey, Frog.
But I don't know how good it is now, but it was literally like 1 year it would be really good and the next year it'd be really bad. And like 1 year it'd be really good and the next year it'd be really bad. But I do remember that it was always one of those things. It was like pretty fun if you went the first night, but then not pretty fun if you went like the next 2 nights. I helped set up for it 1 year. My dad was like, "Yo, son, you want to earn some extra money? I have this friend from work who like sets up for the fair. Do you want to come help for it?" And I was like, "Fuck yeah!" I set up one thing and then I threw up, and so I had to go home. I was like 11 years old, and yeah, it was like super hot outside, and all I remember is that I like helped lift this one thing and carry it pretty far, and then I just like puked a bunch and had to go home.
You're the worst.
Yeah. When I was younger, I used to throw up a lot, to be fair. I had a bad habit of it.
All you have to do is not want to throw up.
I haven't puked in a long time. I haven't puked since the chip, when I ate the hot chip. That was the last time I threw.
That's not a long time. You said a long time.
Well, before that it was a long time, but before that it was like a year.
What's a long time to you?
That's pretty long.
That's also not a long time.
That's pretty long for me. I puke a lot still to this day. I graduated, or I graduated 5th grade and ate a hot dog and threw up on the walk home.
That just sounds like a good time.
Season 1 Bryce was a mood. Yeah, we're off me not being able to piss in public. Now we're talking about how I can puke in public, but I can't piss in public apparently. Yeah, I don't know why. My stomach, it's a baby.
You're a baby.
That's one of the reasons I'm actually afraid of riding a roller coaster, is because I'm afraid I'll puke. Because you and I got on at DC. We got in that VR thing.
We did.
For like, it wasn't even like 5 minutes. It was just like one of those, basically it was one of those VR like it was like a spaceship thing, and you sat in it and it basically just rocked you around. And we got out and like I almost threw up. Like we had to like chill for like 10 minutes as I recovered from it. So I don't know if I just get motion sick really easily and just have never confronted that until recently, or if I just have a weak stomach.
You're the worst.
What do you
Just
mean?
the worst.
What do you
Just
mean?
the worst.
We still went through the whole museum. I toughed it out.
Yeah, we try. Well, I started walking forward and I was like, let's go check out this exhibit. And you go, give me a minute. And you just sat down and did nothing for like 10 minutes.
And then we were fine. And by that, I mean, like, I was still pretty sick the rest of the time we were there, but I really tried to, like, soldier through.
You did talk about it the whole time.
Yeah. That was also when we went to the Wright Brothers exhibit, and there was the one exhibit we were excited about, and they had taken all of the items out of the exhibit. Like literally,
Yeah.
it was the exhibit, but with none of the items in it. They had literally removed everything from the display cases, and so it was just like the infographics that were like printed underneath it, and then like the plane, and that was it. Everything else removed, and they just had a giant like a giant projector in the middle of the room that this woman was talking to you on. And it was like, it wasn't like she was like there. She was like in like Colorado or something, just video chatting. And as you walk by, she'd be like, hey, do you want to talk with me about the museum? Do you want to talk? And she would just like start talking, and sometimes she'd be talking and people would just like walk away as she's talking to them, and she would just like have to like awkwardly segue into talking to somebody else. It was very peculiar. It was probably the weirdest thing I experienced in DC.
Talk to me as I walk by.
Yeah, she might have talked to me too. I just kept walking. I couldn't be
She was
fucked
like,
to talk to anybody.
how are you enjoying the museum? I was like, ah. And then I walked by.
Wish there was stuff here.
Yeah, I wish the items that are a part of the museum were at the museum.
We were so mad. That was the one. I think we talked about this last stream about how we went to one museum super early because we were so excited to see it, and then like it was shit because they were like fully renovated. It was the Air and Space Museum.
We're calling you out, Air and Space Museum.
Yeah, get your shit together. Get your new wing or whatever you're building done quicker, please.
It was just weird because it was like we're removing these items because we're renovating, but like why couldn't the items still be there? Like what did they do with the items?
What happened to the 5K point reward? We got rid of all the point rewards because we felt like they broke up the flow of stream too much.
Because we hate you all. No.
Yeah, we just felt like it was just too much time was being like taken up by having to stop and do those things. We'll figure out something for them eventually.
Hydrate.
When you play games, do you get motion sick? I do if games have motion blur. Motion blur can really fuck me up sometimes. Like the first thing I'll do when I load up a game is turn off motion blur if it has it.
I didn't know this about you actually.
Yeah, I can't. I used to be fine with it. I remember actually you used to be more sensitive to motion blur than I was. And,
it was just because it was annoying. It didn't make me like motion.
Oh yeah, no, it'll actually like make me sick. Not like sick, like not like I was in DC where I almost like puked, but it will make me like, it'll make me queasy. Like I can't enjoy the game if it has too much motion blur.
You are the worst.
But I've never played that time in DC where we did the VR thing is the only time I've ever done anything in VR. Like I've never put on a VR headset other than that time. So I don't know if I could actually handle VR or not. Because I was gonna buy a PSVR 2 when it comes out. But now I'm worried I'll get motion sick and won't be able to play it.
The first time I ever experienced VR, I was at a Cincinnati Reds game, and they had a section. It was like the magic of VR, and you put on this Oculus headset, and it played a pre-recorded video, and like a T-Rex comes and gets you and stuff, and it sold me out, and immediately I was like, this is awesome. I didn't get sick or anything though.
My sister rode the log flume ride at King's Dominion years ago. It ran under a bridge, and there were kids pissing off the bridge as she and her friend floated under it. My sister's always a bitch to me, though, so I can't feel bad about it.
Good.
Those kids were savages, bro.
I remember when I was a little kid, I was riding that ride you were talking about. That's all the swings that spin around. And I rode it a bunch because I really liked it. It was that and the Gravitron that I really liked. I just rode them over and over again. But while I was riding it, there was the guy, the operator, down at the bottom. I guess either me or somebody next to me, I can't remember, spit while they were on the ride. And the spit came down and hit him in like the jacket or shoe or something. And so he got mad and stopped the ride and kicked all of us off. I was young. I was probably like 6 or 7.
Can you?
So if that was me and you're watching the stream, County Fair, man, I apologize.
Have you talked about how you used to like work at fairs on stream before?
We might have mentioned it. Yeah, when I was a kid. Well, so one side of my family, they're carnies. Like they go around with their booths at carnivals, and they have rides and they sell funnel cakes and whatever. And And when I was a kid, I would get to go with them and work at the carnivals, and I'd get to ride all the rides and stuff for free, because I worked there, and I had the magic shirt that if you had that magic shirt, you got to work there for free, or ride the stuff there for free. And I got funnel cakes and ice cream and lemonade and stuff like that. For a kid, it was pretty cool. Child labor.
You know one thing? Do you like funnel cakes?
I love funnel cakes.
I fucking hate funnel cakes.
Dude, you're stupid.
Amy gets really mad at me anytime we talk about this because she loves funnel cakes too. I don't know why. I just don't like them. Not like I think they're gross. Real quick. Neve said, I don't get where the Gucci from the title is in. Earlier, Ty Keep, Scott said something sad or did something sad, and Ty Keep said just a bunch of blurbs about how like, are you feeling good? And so we copied that title. I'm a Spanish speaker. I don't get the joke. Are you Gucci is a way of saying are you good. That's where it comes from. What are funnel cakes? They're just like
delicious.
It's just like fried batter, right? Like literally you just drop like batter and it fries like a certain way, and then you just put a ton of powdered sugar on it.
Yep, that's the whole thing.
Yeah, basically
and it's
you
great.
Just like put an overwhelming amount of powdered sugar on it, until you can realize that you can forget that it tastes awful, and then you just taste powdered sugar.
It doesn't taste awful.
I'm also just not the biggest powdered sugar guy, so maybe that's why.
You're just the worst.
What other fair foods are common? You have
corn dogs.
Yeah, corn dogs. I was gonna say corn dogs, hot dogs, any variety of that. Corn dogs are lit, I will say. I am a very big fan of corn dogs.
One of the booths that my family had sold corn dogs, and it ruined corn dogs for me.
Because they were too good?
They were too good. Like, just eating freshly fried corn dogs, because they fried them right there, like when people ordered them and stuff. It's just, there's no way I can eat like a frozen, like somebody hand me a frozen corn dog. I'm like, I'm not gonna eat that. I've had the good shit, pal.
Scrub said I'm falling asleep on Steam, so I'm gonna head out. Enjoy the artwork, and I'll give you a dono for your time. I don't think we have donos anymore, but I appreciate the sentiment.
Yeah, you don't have to do that, Scrub.
Get some sleep, Scrub. Have a good night.
Appreciate your company. I'm gonna try if that person you wanted me to raid is raiding or is streaming, then we'll raid them.
Yeah, we didn't forget.
We didn't forget. We just stopped streaming on Thursdays.
I've never had like the deep fried Oreos or the deep fried ice cream. Have you?
For real? No, I don't. Well, I've tried it. I don't. It's not my thing.
I've never had it. I've heard people gush about how good deep fried Oreos are, but I've never. It sounds pretty disgusting to me. I'll level with you.
Yeah, it's never tempted me.
But that and like deep fried ice cream are like the two you always hear people like talk about. Also, Planet Bluto, thank you for the sub.
Thank you for the sub.
Echo said, "Ooh, welcome to America, Echo."
This is America.
All we do is eat fried food, fried garbage.
Well, some of us have taste.
Yeah, I don't like a lot of that like fried junk, like fair food.
I like had a fried Twinkie.
No, I've not had a fried Twinkie. I also don't like Twinkies that much.
Don't worry, I've also not had a fried Twinkie.
Yo, Scrub, thank you for the 1,000 bits.
Yo.
Now do a quick doodle of Yoko. I feel like you're
all right
with that.
Fair.
This is the one though. Don't start giving bits for drawings.
I'm not even switching to my pencil tool.
Same Bryce, same trash music. This is Lo-Fi Girl, so you can all bitch at Lo-Fi Girl, not at me. We're just playing Lo-Fi Girl.
Wow, can you believe that?
We don't even use royalty free anymore. We straight up played Skillet all one stream.
Fuck the rules. Bryce, you're
Scrub,
not supposed to admit.
Scrub, I wasn't calling you out. Okay, I can't call out somebody when they give us money. I was just joking.
She has a fang in this one.
Fang Yoko.
Fang Yoko. been a while. I'm out of practice with my Yokos. Ever
You've
since we
gotten
stopped
worse.
streaming the first time.
Scrub, do you know what number this is? Yo, Kolky, thank you for the 200 bits. Also, happy birthday, Kolky.
Oh yeah, everybody say happy birthday to Colky.
Yeah, can we get thumbs in chats and happy birthdays for Kolky?
Moderator extraordinaire with the birthday. Thanks, buddy.
Scrub, what Yoko is this? Do you remember off top? Like what number?
Me?
No, I literally said Scrub. I literally started.
Scott.
No.
I see. I don't like when people say my name. I have a thing about it.
Yeah, so I've heard. Damn, even Scrub's lost count.
It's probably like 12 or 13 at this point,
It depends on if you count Crimson Chin, Yoko.
which you should.
Really, you could just say there's one and it's only Crimson Chin, Yoko.
I think I just went deaf on my left ear.
That's good.
I forgot the in and thanks. That's okay.
Facts.
Thanks for the bits.
Night, Scrub.
Night scrub. There we go. We did it, Reddit.
I'm proud of you. That's your first call.
No, I coughed right at the beginning.
Pack it up.
Try,
Go
try
home.
and get your fucking facts right.
Wow.
This is such a cute outfit. Thank you, guy in the Discord server who suggested it.
You don't even got to say his name. It's just the guy that you take all the suggestions from at this point.
Yeah, he suggested a bunch of outfits, and then when I finally posted one that he had suggested, he was so excited that he went and posted a bunch more. So I appreciate that. Because they're usually pretty good.
Yeah, Thumb Lucia was made by our goat moderator, Ingo. All of our moderators are goats.
But specifically Ingo.
Specifically Ingo, because if we say anything less of us, it'll be the death of us.
Wow. Bars.
Watermelon Lucia when? You've done her in an outfit with the watermelons, haven't you?
Yeah, but I know the one that they're talking about.
Oh.
September 2nd. Unless I decide to post it next week. If you don't see it next week, September 2nd.
Save the date.
Save the date.
Strawberry Lucia when? Yeah, when are we doing the Fruit Lucia month where she's just different fruits?
That seems like something Blue the Bone would do. I don't want
Fair.
to steal her gimmick. Ever since she did the hand sanitizer OC.
She did that one. She did the USB one. It was like
Yeah, the
hand
USB
sanitizer,
one.
USB, and I think one was a car. Burger Lucia, but hot dog Lucia. Blueberry Lucia.
Like from Charlie and the Chocolate Factory.
Just actually rip that scene, but just put Lucia's face on it. So do you have any plans this weekend, Scott? Have anything exciting that you're doing?
I'm gonna try and go swim because I've not been in a while.
Mm.
Because obviously I didn't go when I had COVID.
I'm also going swimming this weekend.
You are?
Yep.
That's so not exciting. I don't give a shit.
Wow, I can't believe this.
Next time you have a thought so mundane, just keep it to yourself,
Fine.
please.
This is the stream where we break up, everybody. I'm gonna go see Nope this weekend. That's pretty.
Yeah?
Pretty hyped about it. Yeah.
I've heard it's pretty good.
Yeah. Well, I've heard it's pretty good too. You were the one that told me.
Yeah. It is pretty good. I watched that, and I watched Bullet Train, on Tuesday.
I do want to go see Bullet Train, but I'm not seeing it this weekend. Tykeep says, "Where's the ass?"
Gotta space out your movie. Where's the ass? It's implied ass. There's ass under here.
According to Colgate, it was garbage. What is the truth? I've seen people either absolutely really like it or think it's horrible.
It's great. It's a great movie.
Yeah, I think it's just like I said. Either you like it or you don't. It seems like one of those kind of movies.
It's I was never bored during the 2-hour plus runtime. I thought that everything, even though it had definitely had faults, which I won't talk about because I don't want to spoil it for anybody, but definitely had faults, but it was very enjoyable from start to finish.
Hi, Scott and Bryce. Recently found your guys' art, and your art is amazing. Lucy is my new top-tier waifu. Thank you.
Thank you. How kind. How sweet of you. Welcome to our wholesome little stream where I cough gently into the audience's ear.
Yo, what's up, Czar? Cough ASMR. I don't know if you definitely Tuesday stream, or not Tuesday stream, well, yeah, this Tuesday stream. You coughed quite a bit, but you weren't too bad.
No, I still can't believe we streamed on Tuesday last week.
Yeah. By the end of it, you were a zombie.
It was real bold.
I'll tell you how bad Scott felt last Tuesday when we stopped streaming. Normally, whenever we finish a stream, we sit here for a few minutes and we talk about whether we thought the stream was good or not. And then we basically discuss what we felt about it. We finished stream and Scott said, "I gotta go," and he just like got off basically.
Yeah.
We didn't even talk about anything. He just went.
It was a bad time. And we didn't stream the next 2 days. I honestly, God, I have no idea how I got through.
Sheer willpower.
That day, I guess.
Really, I should have told you no, but you were so adamant that you wanted to do it. You were so adamant you wanted to do it, and the next day you woke up and you like, I hadn't even woken up yet, and you had already messaged me saying no stream today.
Yeah. Well, I realized that I just didn't have it in me. Because I think it was short, too. I think we only went like an hour 40.
Would you say COVID is the sickest you felt?
No. No.
What was worse?
I've had a few things that was worse.
I know the time you had mono was pretty rough.
I had mono. I went to the hospital twice when I had mono. So I would say that one's pretty safely worse. One time I had the flu and strep throat at the same time. That sucked.
Yeah, you used to get strep throat like 5 times a year.
Yeah.
It was crazy.
One time I had an ear infection, and that's the sickest. Well, I guess it's not sick, but that's like the most pain that I've ever been in, is that ear infection. That sucked.
Yeah, when I was
I
a
watched
kid,
like 150 episodes of Pokemon in 2 weeks.
When I was a kid, when I was like literally 4 or 5, I had ear infections in both ears. And like, despite being so young, I can still perfectly remember it because of how miserable of an experience it was.
Yeah, ear infections ain't nobody's bitch, man.
Yeah, I think COVID's probably the sickest I've been. Not like the most pain I've been in from anything, but probably because I like, because of my sinuses, I'm kind of always like not feeling good. But I haven't had too many times in my life where I've been like really, really sick. Like I've gotten the flu once or twice. I get like colds every year, stuff like that. But COVID's one of the only times I like got like really, like I was like bedridden for like a week and a half. But
well, I wasn't that sick. You must be weak.
Wow. You say.
I don't know what this is right here. No, never mind. I do. was trying to decipher my drawing from a few minutes ago.
What's the story behind Lucia? How long have you been drawing?
Well, would you like to tell them the story behind Lucia?
Oh, I thought you were going to answer the drawing question first. Yeah, Lucia is a character in our webcomic, The Panty Bear. But she's taken on a life of her own now in the Twitter world. Here, if you do that, there you go. Yeah, how long have you been drawing?
I've been drawing on and off my whole life, but seriously, like, I'm gonna draw every day and try and make it my job and stuff. Probably like, I don't know, when did I start? 15? When I was 15 years old, so 9 years.
Yeah, I was
16,
15,
16. It's probably like 8 or 9 years at this point.
There you go.
Because I'm old compared to most people in the chat.
Yeah, we hit the ancient age of 25.
Technically, I'm still 24. But...
Listen, you're still 24. You're a lot older than me. Your body, before we went live, you were like, man, my spine hurts so bad.
You just don't know what it's like. You'll get there. Wait till you age up, you whippersnapper.
Every time like we talk, you're like, oh, my knees hurt. I can barely walk upstairs. You're 24 and your body's like 44.
What can I say? That's how my mama made me.
No, I don't think that's the case. I think your body's just breaking down.
2,500 plus member Discords.
No, that's not true. It's right. We have it right. I did it right. Don't come at me. I've kept it updated. For once, I've been good about that.
Well, on the bio, it still says 6,000 plus.
Yeah, it doesn't matter. Nobody reads the bio. Who reads the Twitch bio?
All right, fair point.
Lionheart, I will turn 25 tomorrow. Happy early birthday.
Happy early birthday.
Everyone's aging up. I feel like 90% of the people I know in my life have birthdays in July and August.
I'm too bad at days to... I don't even remember your birthday.
I legitimately had to celebrate like 3 or 4 birthdays. I had my birthday, Amy's birthday, Amy's mother's birthday, Amy's grandfather's birthday, my sister's boyfriend's birthday. Like, bro, everyone be having birthdays in July.
Not me.
Well, yeah, it's because you were born in March or something.
Yes, the reason that I don't have a birthday in July is because I was not born in July.
Yeah, I know. I was spitting straight facts.
We should get a radio show.
Should we?
Yeah.
Do you think it'd be easier or harder to do like
right?
a podcast, like a pre-recorded thing?
Oh, I think it would be easier because I wouldn't have to draw.
Do I. What if you still have to draw?
Well, if I still had to draw, then it would be the same.
I think it would be easier just because we could guarantee quality. Like if we've...
I think that we guarantee quality pretty good on stream here, boy.
Well, I mean, as in like we could like, you know, we could curate everything to like the best moments.
Oh, I see. You mean with editing?
Yeah.
Well, then yeah, it'd be easier. What a dumb question.
I'm gonna cancel stream today. We're gonna go on live.
Next time you have a question that dumb, just don't even say it. Just spare yourself the embarrassment.
We have fun.
We're back.
Little mishap. I had to scold Scott for a minute. Ingo take over. We gotta have Ingo on stream again sometime soon. We keep saying this, but we keep forgetting to actually ask.
Well, we've not had guests the last couple of weeks because I've been dying, and then I went to a park, which that was a big deal.
Yeah, unfortunately, you decided to go have fun. And I heard you had a blast yesterday.
My advice to people would be don't go to an amusement park when it is hot and in the middle of the dog days of summer.
Well, the best part to me, or the part that is most surprising, is that you actually got your sister to be so calm.
Yeah, she had a good day.
Because normally when you take little kids on like things like that, they have a lot of fun for a few minutes and then they're so done. And they want to just go home and...
No, she did great. She rode roller coasters. She played games. She played in foam. They had a big foam pit set up for kids. They had a kid foam pit and then they had an adult foam pit, and I thought that was an interesting decision.
Did you go in the adult foam pit?
No, I didn't.
Why?
Because I would get wet. Because it was like wet foam, I guess.
It was.
I don't know.
What?
I don't know. There was just a big sign that said you will get wet, and then every time anybody left or walked out of it, they just came out drenched.
Did that happen in the kids' pool too? Were they just like dumping water on people?
That was some very loud thunder.
I just want
to
let
everybody know.
No, we can hear
If I lose power, then that's why.
The idea of just being in a pit of wet foam sounds gross.
I mean, there's a reason I didn't get in it, despite it being so.
Have you ever been to a water park?
Yeah.
I've never been to a water park.
I've been many times.
I've been to like Six Flags and places like that where they have like the water sections, but I've never been to specifically a water park.
It's fun if it's not busy. Same thing as any amusement park. If it's real busy, it's kind of annoying and a pain in the ass, but if you get there at the right time.
Hey, you know me, I hate water.
That's true. Yeah, would you be scared to swim?
Is
that the real reason you don't go swimming?
When Shroom and I went to Six Flags when we were like 11 years old, he had to beg me to go to the water section with him. I'm dead ass not joking. I remember this very vividly. He got really upset with me because I didn't want to go to the water section. And then I did because I felt bad because he got upset.
You were the worst.
I don't like water. It makes me, I don't know. It just makes me uncomfortable, man. You're telling me you don't? You're telling me you don't have an uncontrollable fear of water? What do you mean you hate water
in your life?
What do you mean? Because I've avoided water.
Is the idea that it's raining outside of my apartment right now like scaring the shit out of you, or?
No, I love rain. I love like rain. I don't like hate water. Like it's not like I can't. I'm literally drinking water right now, but I don't like. I just get
you can drink water.
I just get uncomfortable in certain scenarios with water. I don't know what to tell you. I don't like the ocean. I don't like open water. I don't like deep water. I don't like water with a lot of people in it. I have very specific requirements for my water.
You are just the worst. That's all I can say. That's the only way that I can explain.
Sounds like rabies. I can be a bit much. But that's what there is to like about me. I can't pee in public and I'm afraid of water. That's why I haven't been to like a beach since I was like a little kid. Because it sounds so unfun to me. Imagine just being around a lot of water.
Yeah,
I'm not
pretty cool.
I'm not joking. I literally haven't gone to the beach because it just sounds like a miserable time to me.
See, I've not been to the beach in a long time, but that's because it's several hundred miles away from me.
Nobody told Bryce we're made of water. It would ruin him. Have you all wished Colky happy birthday? Yeah, he came into stream earlier and we all wished him. Bacon! Yo, what's up?
Bacon!
The goat.
You think you can just come and go as you please, you son of a bitch.
We've been missing you. We feel like you broke up with us.
Nobody breaks up with me.
What's something on the topic of like places you could go, like amusement parks and beaches and stuff like that? What's one thing you haven't done or haven't done in a long time that you want to do?
Probably the beach, just because, like I said, I've not been because they're so far
You
away.
son of a bitch.
Son of a beach. But yeah,
I'll put us
that.
back on the thanks for watching screen. I want to go mini golfing. Never been mini golfing.
That's significantly less exciting than the beach.
Yeah, I don't leave my house very often. I don't have big aspirations. I want to go bowling.
That's so incredibly mundane.
I was gonna ask Shroom if he wanted to go bowling sometime with me, Miami, and his partner. So I guess this is me officially asking if he wants to go bowling at some point. Because I think he's here still.
I want to go bowling.
You don't live close enough to me to go bowling. I don't want to go
like
bowling, just me and Amy.
Yeah, fuck your Amy.
No, I want to go bowling with like more people. It's not like just I wouldn't want to go with just Shroom either. I'd want to go with multiple people. Make an event out of it. You know, we all get together and we go to the bowling alley together.
I don't know. I go bowling with my Amy.
Okay. Am I discussing you and what you do right now, or am I talking about what I want to do?
It's pretty fun.
I'm saying
bowling is good.
I would also enjoy just going with Miami, but I think it'd be funner if we all went as a
Why
group.
are you scared of water? I don't understand.
Why are you still bringing this up? I'm not afraid of water. I just don't like open water.
It sounds like you're afraid.
Bowling is a group event for real. Scott has God complex. I haven't been roller skating since I was a little kid. I'd go roller skating again. Last time I went was in the 3rd grade, and I couldn't do it, and so I haven't gone since. But I want to do it now. I've never been ice skating either.
Hold on. So you've never been, really? Because you couldn't do it?
Well, I went in 3rd grade, and I couldn't do it, and I got really upset. Scott, you've known me long enough to know that if I can't achieve something and do it well the first time, I give up on it forever.
But then why'd you say you've not been in a long time? You've never been roller skating.
Yeah, I have. I went in 3rd grade. I went to rollers. I went
and
in 3rd.
You didn't do it.
No, I did it, but not well. Like I kept falling. I did put on the roller skates and do it, but I didn't like skate around because I could not do that. I just fell a bunch. I was at a girl's birthday party. Actually, the same girl that I sent the picture to. Like I accidentally sent the picture of our conversation to. It was her birthday party. And I tried to roller skate and I just kept falling. So I've been roller skating since. But I want to go again.
Unbelievable. How do I still learn shit about you like this?
I don't know. I've never been ice skating
for so long. I went ice skating once. Not a lot of ice around me, believe it or not.
Not a lot of ice around me either. Not like I'm drowning in ice.
Well, I don't think you could drown in ice.
Dude, I'm gonna drown you and I'm gonna find a fucking way. I don't know what else. I haven't been to a baseball game in a long time either. But that's mostly because I don't live in Baltimore anymore. And also the Orioles were horrible for a really long time, so what was the motivation to go?
I've not been to a major league year, I don't think.
You have no reason to go, you're a Reds fan.
Yeah, when your team starts 3 wins against 22 losses, it's not real exciting. You just kind of go to see how bad you get beaten.
Yeah, the Orioles are actually good this year. Nobody believed in us. Not even me, but here we are.
The Reds beat you guys in the series, though.
Yeah, well,
how good are you really?
The Reds are like, what, like 25 and 50?
Yeah, we played more games than that.
Yeah, it's fair. The Orioles are like 54 and 51. Is this Photoshop? Yes. This is indeed Photoshop.
It sure is.
Unfortunately.
The best program. CSP users are just a different breed, man. Everybody complains about everything that they do. Like, I have to use this program, I have to do this, blah, blah, blah. Except for people that use CSP. They're all about it. They're all in. They've drank the Kool-Aid.
It's like being part of a cult. They have no complaints. You know, like when a
Everything
feature
is
gets
fine in
added and it's like,
CSP.
oh, that should have been in base game. I feel like when I hear that about CSP, they're just excited the feature got added. There's no complaints with it.
There's a certain fervor around it.
Genuinely don't understand baseball. Baseball's a hard sport to get people into, I feel like. I feel like if you don't take to it really quickly, it's hard to get someone into it.
Yeah, I think a lot of people that are into it were introduced very young, and so they understand it. Because I've seen people that are not American and have never seen a baseball game try and understand baseball, and very much seems like it's difficult to understand if you don't have an innate feeling for it by having experienced it in your youth in some way.
Yeah, the rules can be a little bit confusing, but at its most basic, it's pretty easy to understand. It's one of those. It's. I think it's really hard to get into if you're not watching it with somebody who knows the rules. Like if you sit when I got into baseball, Scott was already into baseball, and so basically he just explained everything to me. And I feel like it's really easy to understand when you have that. But I think a lot of sports are like that. Like I think it's harder to get into a sport just by yourself than if you have somebody who already knows the sport and is getting you into it.
Yeah, that's definitely true. And also, I think that if your team has good announcers, that helps a lot. When I was getting into it, my team did have really good announcers, and they really were able to help educate about the game. And that's where I learned a lot of what I know about baseball.
I still miss Gary Thorne.
Still watching our announcers, or listening to them.
Yeah, you can if you have shitty announcers, it can really, you can learn nothing. But if you have good announcers, you'll learn a lot. I love to go go-karting again. I've never been go-karting. It seems pretty fun though.
It's all right. It's not on the top of my list of shit to do.
I've done so little things. I learn as I
It
get
might
older.
be very exciting for you.
As I get older, like, you know, when I went to the movies this weekend and I was like, wow, this is the first time I've left my house in a month and a half. I was like, wow, I really don't go out much, do I? So I'm trying to go out and do more now.
Just the worst.
I had a big epiphany that maybe life isn't so fun if you just sit inside and write all day and then just like play Warzone for a few hours here and there. And Vanguard. Steer clear of the children because they will bump into you. I feel like the problem would be that I would want to bump into people. Like, especially if me and Amy did it, dude, I'd ram her off the course. I don't know if you get in trouble for that, but I would 100% do that.
It depends on the course.
Depends on whether you can go to one of them pussy courses or not. On topic of sports you don't understand, is there a sport that you just don't, not like don't get the rules, but I mean like just you don't get the appeal of very much?
I'm always confused as to how people get really into soccer. Because one, actually following the sport seems difficult because of all the different leagues and teams.
I think
and
that's
stuff
the
like
biggest
that.
hurdle for me. Yeah.
And also, it just seems so boring. And I know that's ironic from a baseball perspective, but
I always
that's
felt
the main
like
criticism of baseball.
soccer would be funner if you like cut the pitch in half. I just feel like
Yeah.
it's so big.
Put
and
it
it's
all on a basketball.
basically if you just made it like hockey. Like I always feel like hockey is just more exciting soccer because they're very, very similar sports. But hockey is very fast paced. I'm a big hockey fan. For me,
Now, soccer's fun to play. I mean, there are a lot of sports that I think are very fun to play, but not fun to actually watch.
I feel like football's that way for me, but not because the like American football, not because the actual like, Not because the actual sport, because I get why people like the sport, because I think it can be pretty fun. It's just the slowest goddamn sport there is. For people that bitch about baseball, people bitch about how boring baseball is, and then they watch football, and I cannot wrap my head around it because football, it's boring in a different way than baseball is. Because baseball, it's just very slow. Like the game itself is slow. Football just has so much time where literally nothing is happening. Where literally there is like, it is just dead air. The players are just like standing around waiting for the next play or whatever. At least in baseball, like it's fucking slow, but something's always happening. I don't get it. I don't know. Because I like the sport of football. Like I understand it. And I think it can be fun. But I can't. Every time I've tried to watch it, I'm just like, I can't. I feel like I'm just wasting so much time.
Basketball is one that I don't like watching it on TV, but I really like playing basketball. Like I said, most sports to me are kind of that way. I don't actually watch that many sports.
Basketball is one of those sports I wish I enjoyed watching more because I do really like the sport. Like I for some reason I like tend to tone out or zone out like halfway through the games, but I do really like the sport. And I like keeping up with the sport. Now I will say I think the easiest sport to get into, it can also be the hardest depending on, but I think in terms of understanding the rules, I feel like MMA is so easy to get into from a baseline. And the hard thing is like if you know, it's hard to get someone who just doesn't like watching people beat the shit out of each other into it. But just understanding like the basics of MMA, it's so easy. I feel like with a baseball game, if you just turn it on for somebody that's never seen baseball and they don't understand the rules, they're not gonna have that good of a time. But if you turn on like a UFC show, they'll get people are beating the shit out of each other at least. You know what I mean? So I feel like it's really easy to just. I think that's one of the reasons like I like MMA and stuff so much because I feel like it's really easy to get people into it. And so like unless they're just like they see it and they're like this is barbaric, it's really easy to get people into it. Which, granted, I get why people think that, and I understand that, but I'd probably
definitely can be.
Yeah, it definitely. When you watch like Brian Ortega just get beat bloody, and he's just like, you know, when you watch like Korean Zombie just get beat by Volkanovski, and he's just like, he just doesn't look like he should be like that. That's pretty barbaric. But it's probably my favorite sport these days. Just it's pretty easy to keep up with. That's another thing about MMA is aside from the fact that it's an expensive thing to watch. I feel like it's pretty easy to keep up with because just you only got to worry about one pay-per-view a month. If you want to watch the fight nights every week, you can, but if not, you just have your one big pay-per-view every month. Just one night or 1 month, one night, 3 hours. It's not too bad to keep up with. I think also it's a pretty good time to get into MMA because I think there's a lot of really good champions right now. Like a lot of pretty exciting guys to watch, like Usman and Volkanovski. I feel like they're pretty fun to watch.
A lot of good champions, and then Adesanya.
And you do have Adesanya, who puts on the most boring fights. Watching people get the shit kicked out of them without any sort of interesting narrative underpinning it is super interesting to me. That makes sense. I will say, because I kind of felt that way at first too, because I watched wrestling and I was really into pro wrestling before MMA. And obviously with that, it's all about the storylines and stuff. And so when I came into MMA, I sort of had that same vibe. But I learned quickly that if you keep up with it even in a cursory way, most of the time the big fights do kind of have some storyline in them. Like something happening between the two fighters, just like something to make it interesting. And also eventually you'll just like learn to, or at least for me, it was like I just eventually learned to be really interested in the sport as a whole. And so it became like actually the matchups became interesting and everything. Like it became less about just like, oh, I want to watch people kick the shit out of each other, and more about just like I want to see who's the better guy or gal.
It's a good time. I also quite enjoy MMA. Sometimes it's real boring, but
then sometimes you get like Gaethje versus Chandler.
Yeah, it has really high highs, and I feel like the lows actually aren't that bad compared to some other sports. Like most sports, like a really boring football, baseball, soccer game, hockey game, whatever, just really sucks. MMA, even the boring show will have
here-
at least a couple of exciting moments.
Well, because here's the thing, right? Here's like the kind of the difference, I guess, with when you're watching MMA, it's not like if you're watching a baseball game and it's just like really boring, you're just watching those two teams, so it's probably gonna be boring the whole game. But if you're watching UFC, that's just 15 minutes. And then you're on to the next two people and they're fighting. So it could be a whole different fight. Also, in MMA, a blowout can be really fun to watch because you're just watching somebody just be dominant and like beat the shit out of somebody. And I think the biggest difference is that with MMA, you always have the chance. It can be like the most piss boring fight. It can be Derek Lewis versus Alexander Volkov, and then in the last 15 seconds, Derek Lewis can knock out Alexander Volkov and win. And it can be like one of like the most memorable moments in recent MMA history. And so I think that's what makes it always like there's always the chance of like there being some big flash knockout or something big happening.
Plus, it's so good at scratching the monkey portion of our brain that just wants to see violence.
Conor McGregor's rise and fall was an amazing arc. I wonder what he'll do next. The whole saga between him and Dustin Poirier and the whole saga between him and Dustin Poirier and the whole saga between him and Khabib. The Conor Khabib rivalry is legitimately one of the most exciting things I've ever seen in sports. Plus, it capped off in like the wildest way it possibly could.
Still waiting for the sequel.
Yeah. There's also just something so fun, like when Khabib was champion, it was just so fun just watching somebody so dominant. Just like nobody came close to him. I think that's one of the things about MMA that like it's because it's not like a sports team where you have an attachment to a team, and so like the Dodgers, we all fucking hate the Dodgers because they're really good and they buy. But with MMA, you're just watching people. So like sometimes you'll like somebody more than somebody else. Like you'll go, oh, I want Dustin Poirier to beat Conor McGregor, or I want Alexander Gustafsson to beat John Jones. But most of the time, you're just watching just for a good fight. So it's like it's pretty easy. Like it's really enjoyable to watch somebody be dominant. Like most of the time, like watching Khabib, watching Usman, stuff like that. It's fun because, like I said, there's no like teams or affiliations or anything typically. The only thing I remember from MMA is that dude breaking his leg mid-fight. That's happened a lot. I'm assuming you mean Anderson Silva, but
yeah, everyone remembers the Silva one.
Yeah, because the Silva one is the big one, but that's happened a lot more than you would think. Legs are very brittle in MMA. They break. I think what was it earlier this year? We had 5 straight cards where somebody broke their leg on it.
Yeah,
it's something crazy like that. Yeah, it happens. It happens a lot. And what happened to Silva is when you did he check a leg kick or get a leg kick checked?
He had a leg kick checked.
Yeah, so a lot of times it'll happen when somebody goes to throw a leg kick. So they'll throw their leg out at somebody else's leg, and they check it by basically turning it so they're hitting directly on their bone, and it can literally snap your leg immediately. Most of the time it doesn't. Most of the time it really fucking hurts. But it can. Ooh,
all right,
my light fell. But yeah, it can break your leg very easily. I'll never when we watched Chris Weidman, the guy that broke Anderson Silva's leg, he later had a fight where within like the first like 5 seconds he broke his leg. He literally just stepped wrong and broke his leg at the very start of the fight. Oliveira, yeah, Oliveira is another great example of like a fun story. Like why it's fun that you're following specific people, because like Oliveira was in the UFC for like 10 years and like struggled and like had a lot of trouble maintaining any kind of success, and now he's the lightweight champion. It's cool. Oh hey, funny crab guy with the lewd OC. I didn't know you streamed.
Sure do, pal.
That's why wrestling is the best. Wrestling is some of my favorite memories of like any content I've watched have been wrestling.
Pro wrestling.
But the problem is wrestling has lows unlike any other sport. Wrestling, like when you're watching a bad wrestling show, like when you're watching a WWE show, not the shit on WWE as a whole, but for the most part, man, it can be a slog. It can be a waste of 3 hours. But maybe that'll change now that Vince is gone.
I'm still waiting for him to enter the Rumble and return.
See, I don't get the appeal of boxing. I guess I think it's because I got into MMA first, and so boxing just feels. I'm not shitting on boxing at all, but it's like I like watching. I think the thing that appeals to me with MMA is all these different styles, like watching a striker fight a wrestler, watching like a jiu-jitsu specialist fight like a karate specialist, stuff like that. So I think boxing for me, just like it feels a little more boring because I know there's a lot of different nuances to striking, obviously, but it's just like it's taking everything MMA is and condensing it just to like your fists, and for some reason that is boring to me. But I get why people like it.
Bryce fucking hates boxing.
I kind of do. I just think it's boring to watch personally. But again, I get why people like it because I do think it comes off as more professional, and I think that the lack of having a lot to do makes you have to do other things. Like it makes it more creative in that way. But I've tried watching quite a bit of it, and it never hits me the same way MMA does. I think it's also because I really like watching wrestling, like in MMA. Like I like watching like actual like competitive wrestling. That's why Khabib was so fun to watch.
What are we thinking about this outfit so far, guys? This drawing.
Don't answer all at
Pretty
once.
good. I'm quite happy with it so far. I'm pretty good.
You're the GOAT.
Even when I'm sick, I come out here and I just show all you motherfuckers up.
Speaking of pro wrestling, we got to watch that Roman Brock match. Did anybody watch that Roman Brock match at SummerSlam? Was it as good as it looked?
It had one hell of a visual.
Yeah, we've only seen the big spot from it, but it was enough to make us want to watch the match, which is saying something because I never want to watch a Roman Brock match. Yeah, you say you don't need another Roman Brock match, but did you see that he literally picked up the ring? We were gonna watch that card because it was the first card without Vince, but then we didn't realize it was on a. We haven't watched WWE in so long. We didn't know they switched to Saturdays instead of Sundays.
Boy, was that a shock to us on Saturday evening.
I was borderline offended. So we didn't.
I wasn't even home.
Yeah, we didn't get to watch it because it used to be it was Sundays, and it started at 8:00, and it was 3 hours, and then they made it 4 hours, and that was the worst time in WWE history.
Because nobody likes 4-hour pay-per-views.
So when you do the Chibis, do you ever have any specific idea for them, or do you just wing it?
I just kind of wing it. I mean, usually, they're pretty straightforward. I colored this drawing a lot faster than I thought I would.
Wow, are you out of work now?
Almost. Once I finish these lines.
Damn, then it's straight time.
Then it's straight time.
That sounds like a band. Straight time?
Straight time? Yo, that's a pretty good band name. I love that band names are just two words put together. Like, you put together two random words and people are like, oh, that's a good band. It could be anything.
Like straight time.
Like straight time.
What would be Scott and Bryce's wrestling team name? The Faceless. I think we could go with that before we had the webcams, but I think now that we have cams. I don't know, Scott, what would your wrestling name be?
The Crushinator. No, the 86er. The Avalanche.
Okay, we're gonna stop. I'm not much of a wrestling fan, but how do you feel about Logan Paul entering the wrestling world? I know most purist boxing fans hate Jake Paul and consider him a hack. Okay, here's what I will say about Logan Paul entering the wrestling world. The man is way better than he has any right to be. I am not saying he's good, but we've seen a lot of celebrity wrestlers who just come in, they do their match, and like they're fine. But he legitimately, he must give a shit. because his matches have been, for him not wrestling, have been good.
The dude gets it. He knows how to.
He knows how to make people hate him, and so just playing a bad guy in wrestling, it's like the perfect job for him. He comes out and he gets booed because of who he is. Everyone just wants to watch him get beat up, and he knows that. He's very good at playing to a crowd and getting them to dislike him. And like I said, he wrestles out of every like celebrity wrestler I've seen. He's one of the best, especially just like with how he started, like with the fact that he's only just started, and he's like barely really wrestled much at all.
Yeah, dude has a ton of charisma. Is very athletic.
The only person I can say is probably comparable in terms of how quick like they were a celebrity and how quickly they got good would be Ronda, but even she was in MMA before, so it made more sense that she would be good because she at least had background. I mean, basically her wrestling repertoire was just her MMA repertoire. But then she like got bad. She was like good for her first year, and then she came back and she hasn't been as good, which is unfortunate because her first run in WWE was pretty fun.
You critiquing Ronda? She'll armbar you, bro.
Do you think he has the potential to be great if he sticks with it? Like The Rock status good? I don't know. I mean, The Rock was a great entertainer. He was a fine wrestler. He like most of his matches were special because he was really good at being entertaining, not because he was like incredible in the ring. Is that fair to say? I mean, that's
Yeah, and I mean Logan's, he's good. He's not The Rock. That's a while, or that's a once in a lifetime.
Yeah, since The Rock, there has been nobody in wrestling as charismatic as The Rock. At least not in the same way. Like, you have guys that have been like, you have guys that have been over a lot. Like, everybody loves Seth, but Seth's not The Rock. And I don't think Logan Paul will ever be as good as Seth is. Seth Rollins, I mean. Seth has the greatest gimmick right now where he just comes out and does weird dances and laughs. I still could not tell you what Seth Rollins' character is right now. What do you think is the most over you have ever seen a wrestler, Scott? Like the most liked you've ever seen them? In the modern day, like past like modern, yeah, like last 10 years.
Either Cena, The Undertaker, which I feel like that goes against the spirit of what you're asking.
Yeah, I feel like it's too easy of an answer.
Like really, really modern, Becky.
I was gonna say Becky. Yeah. That's why turning her heel was such a dumb decision. Because Becky Lynch is definitely the most over I think any female wrestler's ever been. Just throughout her entire career, I just feel like she's just always pop. Everyone loves her.
I had the idea to do this when somebody said that our tag team name should be Faceless. So I made this is a Patreon variant.
Yeah, people are always asking for those variants. This is one of them. We've removed the face.
Patreon variant. We did it.
Because she was more popular than Charlotte and they couldn't have that. I don't know if Charlotte's ever been as like this WWE wants her to be.
No. All right, hold on. Switch off my screen for a second so I can pull up other things.
Okay, give me a sec. You're good.
They can still hear us, right?
Yes, they can still hear us.
Guys, can you still hear us? I guess they could have been on my screen while I'm saving this, but it's still
fine. They get to look at Danny DeVito.
Danny DeVito.
It's because she sucks. Charlotte isn't that great, I will say. She has some great matches. Her triple threat at Mania with Becky and Sasha is incredible. But she was also with Becky and Sasha. So I guess that's an unfair answer. How many times are you going to save this image?
Well, I had to save a low-res version and a high-res version. And now I have to open up a new document so I can draw Stray.
Why'd you zoom in on her eye to open a new document?
It's a thing I do. Don't worry about it. All right, you can switch back now.
We're back.
That post was for October 14th.
October 14th.
Unless I changed my mind.
$10 says Scott's naked, right? Oh, okay. I was gonna say we're back on the cams. It's for October 14th or September 14th. Depending on whether you post everything in September.
That's true.
You gotta remember, you gotta keep that caveat. You don't want people posting, you don't want people to see you post that in September and call you a liar. How did we all feel about the Violet Scarlet trailers? What was the vibe with that?
The what?
The Pokemon games. They're called Violet Scarlet, new ones.
I see.
That's how out of the loop you are.
Yeah, I had no idea what you were talking about.
I thought it looked cool. I thought it at least looked like Game Freak was doing something different. Which is always good because Game Freak never does anything different really. But they have been kind of recently. So that's kind of cool. Pokemon's been whack for a while now. I've not beaten a Pokemon game since Black 2. So that's not true. I beat Omega Ruby, but I wouldn't count that 'cause it's like a remake. But Black 2 was the last new Pokemon game I played.
What should I draw her doing?
Being a cat.
Being a cat.
Why does one of them, like the motorcycle lizards, use its wheels, but the other one just runs? Does this not bother anybody else? It really bothers me that one of the legendary guys actually has like wheels that he uses like a motorcycle, and the other one just has the wheels, but he just runs.
I don't understand. Now, I've not seen this creature that we're talking about. I don't understand the logistics of how
it is literally
could have wheels.
It is a giant lizard, but on its stomach are two giant wheels.
Okay, what's this called?
I don't know. What's it called? Somebody say what it's called. I forgot its name.
Pokemon
Just Google Pokemon motorcycle.
Oh wow, it's...
Yeah, I wasn't joking.
Okay.
It literally, like it...
No, it just turns into a motorcycle.
They also turns into an airplane. Well, it has like airplane wings when it flies.
It's F1, but with Pokemons. All right.
But I thought it was cool. I thought the whole thing of like the going to school aspect is at least interesting. The having the different storylines and one of them being the gyms sounds interesting. The co-op's really cool. That's a really cool thing. Kind of came out of left field. I don't know. I'm more optimistic about this than I was about the last few Pokemon games. I'll probably buy it just because Amy will play it. Because it's a Stone Age Pokemon vibe, so they have no wheels. That just like, I get that, but it just looks stupid to me. I think is my main problem. Like having the wheels and not using them just looks dumb. Like it looks dumb that it has these big wheels and it just runs. Like I feel like they could have done a better job of making it look less like just giant wheels. Like kept the same idea. I don't know. It just looks goofy to me. The one where it uses the wheels looks better because it uses them at least.
I'm gonna do what that one artist did, and I'm gonna take pictures of a cat and draw my cat girl as that cat. I don't remember.
Yo, Crab Guy.
What?
Crab Guy's here.
Oh, hey, Crab Guy. God damn.
Hello there, just hugging Scott before I go to sleep.
Thanks, buddy.
Crab Guy's always got your back.
When no one else got me, Crab Guy got me.
But yeah, I thought it looked cool. Again, like I said, I at least like that Game Freak's trying to do something different. That's how I feel like the bar. That's how low I feel the bar is. Like they've been so uninteresting for so long that at least they're trying to do. Like Arceus was at least interesting. I didn't play Arceus, but it looked interesting. And everyone that did play it that I talked to said it was really good. I watched Amy play Arceus, and there was just like 2-3 hours of cutscenes at the beginning, and I couldn't. I was like, I'm not gonna play that. It was just like non-stop talking. Scott, when we were younger, I know your least favorite animal to draw was a horse. Is that still true?
Yeah, I mean, they're pretty awful. You ever seen what a horse looks like?
I remember one time I wrote like the horse-drawn carriage into a comic, and you were like, dude, horses are gonna be really hard to draw. And I was like, yeah. And then you messaged me like 3 hours later, like, we're changing it. No more horse-drawn carriages. We're doing something else.
I think we just had the carriage pulled by people.
Yeah, it was like something so stupid. We had to like make some big ass. I don't even think we might have just gave it just like wheels. We might have just made like a car carriage or something. Yeah, I don't remember, but I remember you were so furious about having to draw horses. Would you say it's because they have like such a crazy muscle structure? Like crazy anatomy?
Yeah, it's they just have a lot of knobs. They're just like big knobby dogs.
Big
just
knobby dogs.
They're just like real big knobby dogs. Is the only way I can describe
big, it. Big knobby dogs.
And it's just hard to remember where everything goes.
Smart use of reference. That is true, Scott. You're using reference for once.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna have this like up in the corner. I took this idea from I think it was DHK, but I can't remember their actual name. If I post this, I'll credit them, but I can't. And I also don't know what to do with this arm.
Did you guys start out as a streaming duo? Do you mean did we start like streaming together, or was the first thing we did in our careers streaming? We did start streaming together. Yeah, we've never streamed on our own.
But this was not the first thing that we did in our career.
No, yeah, we started as writers and artists, and then just started streaming eventually. Yeah, we've never streamed on our own.
I need somebody to talk to chat while I'm drawing, or to read chat specifically.
Somebody to keep conversation going.
Yeah.
Why did you decide to stream as a duo? Because we do everything as a duo. I mean, we write all our books together. I mean, basically all of our work is done with each other in some kind of way.
I can't escape him.
Yeah, so it was just we both wanted to stream, and we just decided to do it together. And what we wanted to stream was art stuff. Like, we didn't really want to play games or do anything like that. So it just fit pretty naturally. You're like Mario and Luigi. I like to think of us more as like Waluigi and Wario.
Can I be Wario?
No. You're 100% Waluigi, dude. My niece is really into Mario. And, which is actually really funny because she grew up like loving Sonic when she was like really little. To the point where one time I told her Sega does what Nintendo don't, and she started saying that all the time. Like, we had this like 4-year-old kid walking around saying Sega does what Nintendo don't. And she really hated Nintendo when she was younger because she like just loved Sonic, and she was like Sega bad, or Nintendo bad. But she's in the Mario now. She's really into. She got a Switch, and then it was like Sega got fucking forgotten. It was like all about Mario. But she gets really mad because Waluigi is like my favorite character from Mario. It's like anytime we play Mario Party or Mario Kart or anything like that, I always pick Wario. And she really hates when I pick Wario. She really doesn't like it. She gets like legitimately really upset when I talk about how much I like Wario. So I just keep doing it.
Can you believe that?
Wario games are good. Wario Land games are good. You got Wario Land Shake It on the Wii. It's a good game. Wario Land 4, yeah. Oh yeah, I think it was Scrub earlier asked about the new Mario Kart maps. I've not gotten to play any of them yet. I didn't buy the DLC, but I really should. I don't play Mario Kart enough, though. I feel like to justify it.
Bryce hates Mario Kart.
No, I like it. It's just Mario Kart's like only fun if you play with people, and it's like I don't know. It's not like me and Amy are sitting here playing Mario Kart all the time. Just her and I.
What's to stop you?
I mean, Mario Kart's fun with 2 people, but it's funner the more people you have. That's what I'm saying.
My dog's in the background now.
I was gonna go full cam to show him, but he left before I could do that.
He's kind of wandering back and forth. I think he's upset about something.
Next time he comes in, I'll go full cam so they can see him. My favorite thing is a lot of times when Scott and I are setting up, he'll just lay in your chair next to you.
But he won't do it on stream.
Yeah, the moment we start streaming, I wonder if it's because you talk a lot, and he gets like annoyed.
Maybe, but he does that like when we game. He'll just hang out in here.
Yeah, but you're also sitting. Well, I guess you're sitting in the other chair when we play games. Online is just too sweaty to be enjoyable. I've recently learned that people say sweaty. I was playing Warzone with Shroom and B, and they were like, "Man, these people are really sweaty," and I was like, "What the fuck? What do you mean?" So I recently learned that that's a term. I feel old. That was the moment I felt old. It's always fun in a group. You can get mad, but just like Mario Party. That's true. I do like Mario. I feel like Mario Kart is a safer bet. Like it's pretty much always fun. But I feel like when you have a good game of Mario Party, it's like the funnest fucking thing. When you have a game of Mario Party where everyone's like getting really pissed at each other and having a really good time. Puyo Puyo Tetris is a blast with friends. I don't know if I'd say that. When your friend, it's literally like you play one game with them and then he goes and he no lifes it for like a month to get really good at it, and then it's not fun to play Puyo Puyo Tetris with them anymore.
I was the sweaty.
Not talking about Ibai specific here or anybody. Also, and he I don't know. I'm still upset about this. You never got better than me at Puyo Puyo though.
Well, I never tried. I could if you'd like.
No, because you don't like Puyo Puyo.
No, but I like being better than you at stuff.
I do find Puyo Puyo funner than Tetris, I will say.
Funner's not a word, Goofy.
Way to repeat what chat said a few minutes ago.
Huh?
Like literally one of the last messages. You son of a bitch. I'm calling you out.
Oh, I didn't even see that.
Wow. It's only the second time that's been said this chat. It's all fun and games till you become a boomer. That's true. My dad gets really mad when I call him a boomer. When I call my dad a boomer, he gets so fucking pissed. I mean, like, actually really mad. Like, one time, I kept calling him a boomer just because I was fucking with him. And he got, like, so mad he, like, left the room. And the next time I saw him, I was like, that's a pretty boomer moment you just had. A writer saying funner is ironic, don't you think? No, that's part of being a writer. We make up our own words. You ever wrote a fantasy novel?
Convenient excuse.
It's just all a bunch of made up shit. You open a Brandon Sanderson book, and within like the first few minutes, he's like told you like 4 different like places that like you just can't wrap your head around it. So because I know when you do designs, most of the time you do them first in your sketchbook, and by the time you've taken it to digital, it's when you have a pretty refined version of it. Mm-hmm. When you do your designs, do you basically just throw a bunch of stuff until it sticks? Like just keep trying out, like for example, like for her little headpiece thing, did you go into it knowing I want a headpiece and then just try and draw a bunch of different ones till you found one you liked, or was it just like a flare you threw in as you were going?
It's just something I threw in as I was going, and I decided that I liked it.
Is that your approach most of the time?
Yeah, it's just, trying different things, and keep the things that I like and change the things that I don't. Just doing a bunch of different sketches and trying different stuff, and then eventually you find things that you do and don't like.
Now, see, when you do stuff like this, when you're just drawing for Twitter and stuff, you have like full control of conveying the personality and the design and stuff like that. But when we write books, typically I've already, like, we've talked about the character and whatever, but I've created the personality and we've created everything like that. Does that impact designs a lot for you? Like a character's person, do you take a lot of take that into consideration a lot?
Yeah, I think definitely when you start a design, you start with an idea. So when I knew when I made Stray, I wanted to make like a punk rock kind of just like cat girl basically. So that's where she gets a lot of like the armband and the wristband, and her hair is kind of wild, and obviously the cat stuff. Yeah, your idea always comes first. And so when we do books, like whatever the character is, I typically, when we have a character, I sort of have an idea already in my mind of how I picture that character based on what their role is in the story.
Now, when I write our books, I've not seen a character design yet, because most of the time I start writing before you start doing designs. Definitely before you finalize. Typically, you don't have designs finalized until we're going to draw pages, because you'll like post the design, then you'll want to redo it like a few weeks later. But because of that, a lot of times when I'm writing, I have to, because when you're writing a book, you typically still want to describe the character, even if it's a comic book, in the comic book, because people that are reading it aren't going to know what the character looks like. And so a lot of times I just have to wing it. Would you say that ever, like, do you ever really, because typically before we send it to anybody, like our agent or anything like that, I'll go back and I'll redo those descriptions to make sure they fit whatever designs you've done. But those early initial descriptions, do they ever impact your process at all? Like, do you ever like change something to make it fit something I said, or?
Only when it is stuff that is relevant to the story. So like, if a character has a necklace or something that's very important, then I will obviously I'll make sure she has the necklace in the design. But typically, like I said, when we have we're working on the story and we know a character's role and what they're doing and stuff like that, I kind of, to my mind, just automatically comes an idea for a design, and because I picture them as something, and so that's where I start usually. And sometimes I think of them as a character that already exists somewhere else, and so I just use that as like a jumping off point and then change it. Other times I just, I don't have anything. I just I know I want them to look a certain way or whatever, or have certain motifs. It varies a lot. I mean, I would say that the design process is fluid, and you get different ideas in different ways, and your process is slightly different each time.
Now, like you just said, it is fluid. But do you feel like, because you said you always start with an idea, do you feel like that idea is always the personality, or sometimes do you start off, because like you said with Stray, it was the cat girl and the punk rock thing, which is obviously like a idea for the design and then an actual idea for the personality. Would you say it happens like that most of the time, or would you say most of the time you just start with an idea for the personality?
I think that I feel like setting, it plays a role in it. I knew when I started her, I wanted her to fit the Twitter motif of like the things that people on there like, and also the things I liked. Like, I knew she was going to be the same art style as Lucia and stuff like that. And so when I went into it, I was like, okay, I got to make sure this works for Twitter, that this makes sense, and the style's consistent with Lucia. And so you start with that, I think, is your setting and like how people are going to be taking in that content. And then when I had the idea for the character, which is just like the punk rock cat girl, I just started playing with different ideas. Like, I knew I wanted the hair to be long and kind of funky. So I like I said, setting plays a big. Like if we're writing a story and it takes place in the 1800s, I wouldn't design a character like
Yeah.
Stray. You know what I mean? You have to have your setting in mind, your sort of limits, what you can do, what you can't do.
Would you say it is easier to design a character for a book than an OC, or harder?
I would say it's easier to do an OC, just like a Twitter one, because there's less rules you have to follow.
Do you want to explain some of those rules?
Well, like when it's like when you're doing a book, right? And like I said, if we're doing a book that takes place in the 1800s, the characters are limited in that sense. Like it has to be fashion that makes sense for that time period and the area that they're from and stuff like that. Whereas when you're doing a Twitter OC, you can just do whatever you want, you know? Like Stray's clothing design and hair design and stuff, like it's not from any time period or anything like that. It can just be whatever you want. So I just think there's less you have to keep in mind when you're doing sort of a not generic, but like an all-purpose OC like this. Whereas when you're doing a character for a book, obviously that character has purpose and feelings and emotions and a personality that has to be ironclad, and you're just a little more restricted, which sometimes helps because it gives you, like as long as you don't overcomplicate it, you have your character, you don't have to figure anything out. But it can make it a little more difficult if you if you struggle with that creative freedom, it can be a little more difficult to do an OC like this. If you struggle with direction and sticking to a theme, it's a little more difficult to do it for a book and for an established story.
One thing that I know that you obviously always hear a lot about, and you've always talked a lot about, is that when you do a character for a comic, one of the restrictions is that you have to make it pretty simple. It's like the one we always talk about is like with Scar from FMA, how he has all these complex tattoos on his arms, but then he wears a jacket the whole series, so that he doesn't have to show them. Would you say, normally with OCs and stuff, you can go pretty wild and you can do whatever you want, but with you, because you have to redraw Lucia so many times, or not, like if you do a new OC, you have to redraw her so many times. Do you take that into consideration a lot? Like obviously their outfits always change, but like Stray has the mask and she has all the stuff on her ears and stuff like that. Or do you still just do you draw it like just as balls to the wall as you can?
No, it's about making sure it's repeatable, definitely. Like I wouldn't design a character that has to wear a mech or like a big suit of armor or something, because and then I have to draw that a bunch. Stray's design's pretty simple and straightforward, and like you said, I might do like one outfit for a drawing that's a little more complex. But the very basic thing, like I know that if I want to do a quick Stray like this one, I can. I know if I want to do a quick Lucia, I can. It's the same thing in a comic or in a graphic novel or anything like that. When I'm designing the character, I'm trying to make sure that if I have to draw them 10 times on a page, I can, without it just being like a nightmare. And a lot of that just comes from repetition, you know, like you simplify a design down the more you've drawn it. Like I'm sure Stray's design will change slightly as I draw her more, just because I'll simplify certain things down or start doing things in ways that are a little more to replicate. Because also, it's not just about making it quicker or easier. It's about making it more repeatable. Sometimes you have a element of a design that you can't draw the same way consistently a lot. And that's not a good thing, obviously, because you want it to look the same every time. So, you might start shifting things around just to make it a little more consistent or repeatable.
Do you take the same approach that you and I do with storytelling, where you start off very bloated, like your first draft of it will be like have every idea that you could possibly fit in, and then you trim down?
Not really. I think it depends on the design. Like sometimes we're doing a book and I'll say like, okay, I got to go design this character, he works at a butcher's shop, and his name's Sergey or whatever. Like I probably can do that design in one take. Like I can just sit down and draw, and you know, if not one take, it'll be pretty quick to get because it's pretty simple. You know, for like a main character, it's not about. I wouldn't say I ever start bloated, because it's more about, like, you never want a character, like it never helps to be bloated, you know what I mean, for a character design. So it's just about, like, I'll draw something and then I'll say no, this isn't it, and then I'll just draw something else and try wildly different ideas. And you know, like with Stray, I did this on stream. Like you could see there's small iterations of the same design elements. Like I'll design this and then I'll say no, I don't like that, I'm going to change it slightly. But you know, it's not like I start with like, oh, I'm going to add wings to her and a face tattoo and this and that, and then I go and do craft, and I just cut some of those things. I might do like a version of the design with wings, but I'm always trying to make it like the best design possible and try and keep it simple.
Do you think it's pretty ingrained in you to keep it simple at this point from doing comics for so long? Do you think that's like just part of your process?
Yeah, I think so. I think it's just your natural instinct as an artist when you have been, you know, because you want designs to be, or at least for this purpose, for like comic books and stuff. So you want it to be simple so it's memorable. And so it's I've just had a lot of practice drawing stuff in this way, this style, and trying to make sure that people can remember it, and that if people want to do fan art, it's simple enough to do some fan art of this. So yeah, I'd say it's just practice and habit, and I think at this point I'm pretty used to it.
Do you have a favorite character design that you've done? It can be anything, not just like an OC.
Probably something from one of the comics that we've done. I imagine would end up being my favorite. I'd have to really think back and look.
One of my favorites. Oh no, sorry. You go.
Well, I was gonna say all I can think of right now is I'm like, damn, I really like Stray's design.
One that always sticks out to me is one from a story that we never wrote because we hated it. Well, actually, we did write, but we never did anything because we hated it so much. And that was Augustus. I always really loved his design.
Yeah, that story had cool designs.
That story had some of your best. It really sucks because like we had such a cool style for it, and it got the story with the book was bad, and so we threw it away and we never did anything with it. We had this period where we wrote a bunch of books that were bad and we just threw them away, and that's one of them that got thrown away. But his design was, I think you've showed him on stream before.
I'm pretty sure I have.
But all the designs from that story were cool. I really like you could recycle the ideas. We anytime Scott and I throw away a book, it never means we're done with the book. It just means we didn't like that iteration of the book. We literally the book we're writing right now is a book we basically threw away. Like two years ago. And we just finally decided to come back to it. So we'll go back to that book and we'll actually finish it and make it good. But sometimes it's not the right place to write that book. Sometimes you're not good enough yet. Sometimes it just doesn't hit. And that time it just did not. We did not nail. We wanted to write this nice short book. We had this perfect idea. It was like 200 pages and it ended up being like, actually no, it was going to be way shorter, wasn't it? It was going to be like 150. And it ended up like 250. It was just really bad. Some of my worst writing I've ever done was in that book. It was bad. My worst recent writing. Yeah, it's bad. But it had great designs. Scott did great work at it.
Yeah, a little bit of work I got to do.
That was one of the few books where we immediately, first of all, we typically never write a book if we're not confident in it. We only write a book. Like we plot a lot of different books and we like do stuff like that, but we only ever actually go to writing if it's something that we're like, okay, yeah, this works. Because if you're talking writing, you know, that's when you're starting to dedicate months of work. That's when you are committed. So we don't ever write unless we feel fully committed. I mean, we started writing Kindred Heavens in November of last year, and we only just finished it like a month ago. So we typically are very precious about what we do and don't write. That's one of the few books we actually wrote, and then we threw away after we wrote it. It might be the only thing other than the Panty Thief that we fully wrote and then threw away because they hated it so much. This is the moment we finished the draft for that book, we were done with it. But there was a finalized
part
draft
of the process.
So if you ever see a character named Augustus in a future book, this is the book we're talking about. Just know it was bad at one point. Do I gotta switch off your screen or are you good?
No, I'm good.
Favorite car? I don't know anything about cars.
Black Cadillac.
I'll be honest. I do like Cadillacs, but I don't really know much about cars aside from that. I think you talked about your dream car a while ago.
Yeah, it's just a black Cadillac.
I also have this problem where I when I think of car names, I think of Grand Theft Auto car names a lot of the times. So like I could tell you what like cars I like are called in Grand Theft Auto, or at least I used to be able to.
Yeah, big fan of the Infernus.
The Banshee. '80s, '90s hatchbacks. What's a hatchback?
I don't know.
I've heard that term before, but I don't know. I don't know what a hatchback would be.
Sounds like some kind of convertible, but I don't know.
The trunk encompasses the rear windshield as well. The entire trunk is just a hatch.
I'm gonna Google it.
That didn't do much to explain. I think that's a perfect definition, but I still can't picture it in my head.
Oh, I understand. I get it. Yeah, I don't like hatchbacks.
Damn. What did you look up? '80s, '90s hatchbacks?
Okay, here. Hatchback 80s. This is like hold on. Like this? This is what you like?
This is your dream car, Bacon? I respect it.
This is your dream car?
I know what you mean now.
No, I disagree with you, Bacon. You're not allowed to have that as your dream car. You deserve better.
Get a better dream car, Scott says.
And if you can't convince yourself that you need a better one, then just don't tell people that that's your dream.
He's the hatchback guy. Everybody has a favorite car. Except for me. I don't have one. It probably is a Cadillac. I'm a sucker for 70s and 80s cars, like stylistically, but I don't know anything about them. So like I don't know their names, but I really like the looks of a lot of 70s and 80s cars. An affordable car is a dream car. That's fair. Would you ever drive a motorcycle, Scott?
No, I cherish my life.
You don't ever want to like face death head on?
No, I cherish my life.
For record, I would also never drive. Would you ever drive a motor scooter?
I wouldn't drive anything on the road that doesn't have the ability to protect me in a crash.
So you're saying you think you'll crash?
I might.
Wow.
I've crashed before. It wasn't my fault, but I've
Fair.
had car accidents before.
Do you think that changed your opinion? Like, do you think you would have ridden a motorcycle before that?
No. I'm I'm a cautious individual.
I'm not. I live life on the edge. I would ride a motorcycle.
Yeah, Mr. Fucking.
I wouldn't take it near the water. You ever get an urge to get a bulletproof car? I mean, I used to live in Baltimore, so like it would have been nice. But no, I don't ever get the urge to get one. There was a shootout next to my parents' car one time. Like literally bullet casings on the ground behind our trunk. That was pretty rad. I'll be honest, I just hate how loud motorcycles are. Especially when I used to live down in Baltimore. There was just like 2 people that lived near me that just like, dude, it'd be like 6 in the morning and I guess they'd be going to work and they would just like rev their fucking end. It'd just be so loud. It's so fucking loud. It's so obnoxious. I hate it. Between that and the train.
There is a train nearby where I live.
Is that your first time living near a train?
Nah, there was one. There was one in my old house too.
See, because down in Baltimore, where I didn't live like right in Baltimore. I lived a little bit outside of it, but it's right. Baltimore's a big port. It's a big dock. And so there's boats constantly. Like I mean, constantly. It'll be like 4 in the morning, and you'll hear the goddamn horn, and they're so loud that it doesn't matter. You can be like outside of Baltimore, and you'll still hear it because they're just like so fucking loud. So it'd be like that, the train and motorcycle guy. Every morning you had to deal with it. But you got pretty used to the boat horns after a while because they always sound the same. They just are like a big honk. So after a while you kind of tune it out. Same with trains a little bit, but trains are a bit more regular. The boats were like every morning. Boats and motorcycle guys. So talking about, we were talking about character designs earlier. Did you have a specific, like, was there something that made you go, I want to make Stray? Or was it just that you wanted to draw a punk rock cat girl? Like, was it as simple as that?
Well, we were on stream and I ran out of stuff to draw and I just started sketching around and said, I wonder if I could make like a cool character. And I sketched around for a little bit just while we were all talking. I think Echo might have been on it, or maybe he wasn't. I don't remember. But I just decided, or I sort of sketched around until I was happy, and then I had the character.
Oh, so that was the first time you drew Stray. I didn't know that. I thought you had already been working on it for a while.
No, it was the first time, and I'd kind of been wanting to make a new character, so the stream was just a good opportunity to do that. And yeah, and now it's just kind of become a thing that whenever I finish whatever drawing I was working on, I draw Stray. I'm just saying she outlived the game Stray that came out. I don't hear anybody talk about.
She outlived Suan. She's already been drawn more than Suan has.
That's true, actually.
I will say about Suan, the people that remember her, they remember. I kind of want to make a Y2K inspired character. What does that mean? Do you mean just like the time, like the time period?
Y2K aesthetic, or do you mean like Y2J, Chris Jericho? Chris Jericho inspired OC.
Low key though, like Chris Jericho's fit where he has the glowing jacket, be pretty crazy for an OC. Early 2000s fashion.
Yeah, do it, man.
Poor Suan, who? She lived a good life. She got 2 posts. She ate a burger. You know, I mean, you can't control what happens. We tried to give her to Ingo, but Ingo said no. I like that we keep changing the lore. We've said that she was too worthless to give to Ingo. We've said that we tried and Ingo denied. There's no truth to any of these. Suan's just gone.
I got that Bon Jovi in my head.
It's my life.
Hell yeah. I got the AMV playlist.
Now or never. Every once in whenever I don't know what to listen to, I put on the AMV playlist. I don't know about you. It's like my go-to. Like I don't know what I want to listen to, so I just put on AMV music.
Same. It's great.
It makes me feel like trash every time. Every time like Skillet comes on, it just takes me right back to high school, man.
How long do you want to go?
We can go as long as you want. I don't care. I only haven't eaten since like 10 a.m., so I'm fresh.
You're just the worst.
No, it's because we got pizza. Amy just got home with the pizza. But no, I can go. I don't care. We can go as long as you want.
Pizza does sound good, actually. But my Amy's making sloppy joes.
Order pizza. Do sloppy joes tomorrow.
Well, we just went to the store, so we have a bunch of shit that we have to eat.
Can you believe that?
You know how it is.
Imagine going to the store instead of ordering pizza. No, I wouldn't have done pizza tonight, but there was a food truck here that did pizza, and I wanted to try it. I hope you feel better, B. Have you tried not being sick?
Hope you feel better. Get it?
Any food doesn't vibe, but I want Domino's so bad. Treat yourself, B. Treat yourself to some Domino's. Get that pasta and pizza. I like the art in the background. What would that be called?
It's a modern art masterpiece.
Modern art. You're a modernist, Scott. Can you believe that?
This is my blue period.
Get yourself some Applebee's? No, don't get Applebee's. I hate Applebee's so much. I don't know if that's a common thing. I don't know if other people hate Applebee's. I really hate
Everybody
Applebee's.
hates Applebee's. Ain't nobody got time for Applebee's.
I once had Applebee's described to me as food that's only good if you're drunk, and every time I've eaten there, I've wished I was drunk. Which has not been good. I remember I went to New York with some people, and they were like, "Dude, it's midnight." We were in Times Square, and they're like, "It's midnight. What do you want to go out to get?" We want to eat Applebee's at midnight.
What an experience!
I was like, they were like, "What do you?" And I was like, "Oh, there are these." But they're like, "Bro, Applebee's. Let's all fucking go!" And we all went and ate Applebee's. And by that I mean we got fries and drinks. Never had Applebee's, never will. You're better. Applebee's is literally just like bar food. Anything you could think of getting at a bar, it's just like a chain bar food place. I don't know. It's just never been my thing. There's one near me. Maybe this is the one. Maybe this is the Applebee's I'll eat, and I'll finally like it'll change me as a human being.
There's no Applebee's that you'll like.
Damn, can you believe that? When was the last time you've been to a buffet?
A buffet? Oh,
Yeah.
It's been a long time.
Did you ever like them?
When I was younger, I kind of did. There was like I'd go to like a Golden Corral. I would say the cool thing about a buffet is that you can go get like unlimited steak and just keep going back and getting more steak. That's pretty cool.
Is the steak good?
It depends on where you go. At Golden Corral, it was all right. But actually, when I got a little older, I was kind of like, wow, buffets are fucking gross, and I stopped going.
I haven't been to one in forever.
The idea of just having food sit out that everybody touches and then you eat is really gross to me.
Yeah, I haven't gone. I used to go. There used to be one near us that everyone would go to. It wasn't a Golden Corral. It was like a local one. And I used to go to that all the time when I was little. But then I kind of had the same thing where I was just like, wow, it's a pretty gross concept. But I would still go to one. But it's been a long time since I've gone to one.
I mean, I'll go if I'm with a group and that's where they want to. Like, I'm not gonna pitch a fit about it, but definitely not something I would want to do.
I got food poisoning at Golden Corral and never went again. I've never been to Golden Corral.
I mean, as far as buffets go, it's pretty.
I mean,
good,
it's like
guess.
the chain buffet, isn't it? It's like
Yeah. If you go in and know that it's a Golden Corral, you'll have a good time.
If you
You
go
know,
in
you're not gonna
knowing
be
that you are
loud.
paying for a lot of food, not good food, you're gonna have a good time.
Yeah.
You
There
are gonna
go.
get
And
full.
also, I don't go to buffets often because you just have to eat so much for it to be worth it.
You have to eat a lot for it to be worth it. And the only real appeal is, like I said, if you're just going for quality or quantity over quality, and you want a lot of different foods. Like, you're like, man, I want steak, pizza, and ice cream. But, like, you don't care if any of it's that good. You just want those things. I remember me and my sister would always go when we would go to the buffet. We would always go and we would get pizza. We'd get a bunch of pizza. And then we would take and we would get every flavor of ice cream. And we would put every single thing they had on the ice cream. My sister's 7 years older than me. So yeah, I was like 7 and she was like 14 and we were doing this.
Yeah, I don't know about that one, Chief.
I don't know. I have very vivid memories of her and I doing that. Thinking back on it, she might have just done it because I wanted to do it.
I mean, hey, it's you already paid for it, right?
I mean, who's going to get upset at you for not eating all of your ice cream? But I also used to, when I would like go to like Royal Farms or 7-Eleven, I would get like every kind of slushie. Like when I was younger, I was that kind of kid. Like I would mix everything into one slushie.
You are just the worst.
I don't do it anymore. I also haven't drank a slushie in like 5 years.
I've only I tried to drink one slushie a few years ago, and they gave it to me. I was 19, and they gave it to me mixed with vodka at a baseball game. And
Yeah, I remember that. You didn't even ask for an alcoholic
did.
drink, right? And they gave
No,
it to
I
you
just want. It was hot. It was like 100 degrees, and our seats were in the sun, and I was just like, man, a slushie sounds great right now. I just want some refreshments. They gave me fucking vodka. I'm like, this is not at all what I wanted.
Was that the first time you had drank?
No.
Mm-mm. Yeah,
Come on. Me?
Yeah, Mr. Alcoholic over there. Yeah, I used to, like I said, I used to mix that. I don't like slushies that much either. I did used to fucking love snowballs when I was a kid. I used to fucking, every time it would like become summer and the snowball stands would open, I'd get so fucking excited. I don't know why. I used to always get the fucking, the banana snowball. That was me every summer.
All right. What do we like this drawing? Is it good?
I think it's good.
I don't give a shit what you think.
Okay, well,
Do the people like this drawing?
I can't believe this. I've been betrayed.
I live for you guys to validate my work, so.
Oh shit.
Oh Jesus Christ, what was that?
I dropped my phone.
Oh
I just
my
be
God.
dropping things.
That sounded like a bomb going
No,
off.
I dropped it next to my mic.
This was pretty quick. This is like what, 40 minutes, 50 minutes?
Yeah,
a
something
drawing?
like that.
Just a cute little drawing. Just a cute little.
Stop dropping shit. I drop stuff all the time. This is just me. You guys are seeing me uncut.
I fucking love coughing.
Is that person scribbling on the raid still alive?
Oh, that's a good question. I was looking for someone to raid. That's good. I'm dying.
You're fine. Well, we're at the end stream, so it's okay. B,
No,
did you
they're
see
not live.
did you see the poem I sent you earlier, B? Did you see that? I'll be upset if you didn't.
They were last online 7 days ago.
Damn, we missed them.
We missed them. All right.
Okay, we'll find someone to rate then.
We'll find someone else.
Go scouring. Go looking.
I had this problem last time where everybody I tried to raid only spoke Spanish. Oh, isn't the last person we raided, didn't they not speak English?
They spoke German, I think. Yeah, because we
What about
raided them and
German?
Ingo just immediately started talking in German to them.
All right, I found someone.
Okay, everybody. We'll be back on
Thanks for
Tuesday.
coming, everybody.
Thank
Yeah,
you
we'll
for
be back
bearing
on
with these
Tuesday.
these last 2 weeks. I know they've been a little hectic.
Yeah, but we should be back to normal now, mostly.
We'll probably have some guests next week, I assume.
Yeah.
Okay, everybody.
Um,
Have a good weekend.
be nice. We don't have. Okay, we don't have. Whatever.
Be nice to who we raid. Thumbs in chat.
Send thumbs in chat. Bye.
Bye, everybody.